There we go, man. We're cooking. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up there, Mark?
You're looking good, man. Let me take a better gander at you. Hold on 1 second. Hot damn! There we go. Nice, Eddie. What's up?
Doing well, thank you.
Hey, you know what's funny is that me and my I have another podcast that I do with me and my partner Bill, and it's called Police Off the Cuff, right? And then we also started this Patreon page to monetize this whole thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So now he's doing some other content, and I have this one-on-one show, and he's over here, and he's he's doing true crime stories. He's doing like he gets these first grade detectives. They're solving triple homicides on his shows. And me, I got the cop who posed in Playgirl. What's up, Eddie? Eddie Mallia is in the house.
That's it.
Look good, man. He's still in the gym.
I'm there. Could I be there more? Absolutely. But between work and family,
how much do you weigh?
Changed.
How much do you weigh?
About 250.
Yeah, me too.
About 250.
What are you, 6'4"?
No, about six foot. Yeah, that's 6 foot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably packing a lot more muscle on you still than me. Mine's mostly around my, you know what happened? All the muscles in my legs, they went in my stomach now. You ever notice that about guys our age? They all got skinny legs, and then they have these stomachs.
Oh, they always had that.
What?
In the gym with the big arms, the big chest, and skinny legs. And they always
Yeah, I don't know what happens to our leg muscles, man. They just fucking disappear. We just get these skinny legs, and then we get these barrel guts.
Yeah.
So where are you? In Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Vero Beach.
Sounds nice.
Been almost 11 years now, and one of the best moves I ever did was get out of New York.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. We were on the phone briefly, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want you to know you fell right into line of the lineage of the podcast that I do. That everybody that I interview is doing better than me. So.
Hey, bro, I struggled for years, man. Years.
Really?
Right on my face.
You didn't come from a lot of money, right? Well, first of all, let me just say this to my audience. Eddie and I grew up in Astoria together. We went to high school together. We're the same age. And we were probably the two freaking, well, we were a couple of the studs in our high school, you know? And you had the blonde hair thing going on.
Yes, I did.
And that whole Italian thing going on, and you were in great shape.
You had that Spanish thing going on with the capizios and the tucked-in tie and the tail, the hair.
Yeah, the tail, man, the tail. You know, that tail, yeah. We listen.
I think I forgot that. Huh?
No, when I talk to people, especially young people, and I try to explain to them what it was like growing up when we, during our era. I don't think they get it at all. Like they poke fun at the mullets or the tails and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you're fucking filling your whole body full of tattoos. I had one earring. I got rid of it in 2 seconds. I grew up. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You got your whole, some going through your lip, your nose. I said, that's going to be hard to hide in a couple of years when you're growing up. We were smart, at least.
Yeah, we were smart on that one. Hair grows back. These
kids are getting full sleeves and they're whole completely tattooed by the time they're 20 years old.
Well, it's in, it's the in thing. They want to be in, and everyone's doing it, so they want to go with the sheep.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, fuck, if I was young now, I'd probably be fucking full of tattoos.
And we probably all would. Yeah.
Because I had the 2 earrings. I didn't even just do 1 earring. I had 2. You know how crazy it had to be to have 2 earrings?
I had 3 and 1. How's that? But I actually thought about it, getting a whole sleeve a few years ago, but I think I'm too vain. You know what I mean? I don't want to tap myself up to have something that I may not like later and get stuck with it for the rest of my life.
I think that could be our sign. What's your sign? When are you born?
Aquarius, February.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, me and Michael Jordan, same day, 17th.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Actually, it's pretty cool. We both on the cover of the Daily News when I did my little stint with the Playgirl thing. He scored 56 versus the Knicks, and I got revealed with everything what I did. So
you know what? Let's take me back to that for a moment. Now, you became a cop. What year did you get on?
90. Actually, I just had my 30-year anniversary on 10/15/90. That's
it would have been 30 years, right? Yeah, because I came on in 92. So You came on 2 years before me, and then you worked in the 109, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked your precinct. Actually, you got burglarized, I think, a few years ago, and I was one of the cops that
Yeah,
came.
I always get burglarized. I got burglarized over here too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Got a lot of good shit, bro.
No, I don't even know. Well, in the Bronx, I live in the Bronx now. I knew what happened. I was new to the neighborhood, and they just wanted to come and see what kind of stuff I had. And I didn't really have like a barbecue or an invite. I probably should have invited everybody on the block over. Now, after like 6 months, they're curious. They're like, what the fuck this guy got in his house that he can't invite us over? What is he so scared about? So then they came in and they just looked around. They didn't really take too much. But it seemed like the whole neighborhood just walked right through my my apartment. What this guy got there? He don't know. He's not too good to invite us over. And plus, where I live, it's a heavy Italian neighborhood over here too. So they're probably looking around. And so you investigated a burglary, and then so what you did like 8.5 years?
I did 5. I just
5.
barely did 5. I got on in October 15th, 90. I got out on November 5th. Actually, November 5th of 95.
So when you got on the job and you took the test and you were going through all the motions there, in the back of your head, it's almost like getting married in a way. When the priest is telling you, "Do you swear not to be faithful?" And you're like, "Yeah, of course." And you're like, "This is never going to happen."
I knew I wasn't doing 20, dude. I had a plan. I was going in, and you know what? It's funny because I worked with a lot of great cops, and I was fun to work with. I made it fun. You know what I mean? I didn't just take the job as a grind, to the grind, and everything's negative. And I had fun. There was a lot of cops that didn't want to work with me because I had too much fun, and I didn't want to jam them up and jam themselves. And I understand they had families and stuff. I was just a fun guy to work with. I did my job seriously when I had to. I responded to all the 85s, 13s. I never gave my job off to anybody else. But in the same regards, I had fun. And I put my supervisors through some stuff every once in a while, but it was all right.
Well, it goes back to our neighborhood because, especially since you got on the job 2 years younger than me, those 2 years in a maturation of a young man, it's a big deal. I was still wild when I got on the job. Like I just happened to fall in with a crazy bunch of guys when I got on the job, and I had a blast. My first couple of years on the job, it was amazing. I loved it. I'm sure that you were going through the same thing too when you were working. Man, you were 2 years younger than me, and you were single.
Yeah, it was. No, I wasn't. I was. No, I was single at the time. Yes, first 2 years I was.
And it's the blue magnet, man.
Yeah, it was interesting. How about having a CPOP post right on Main Street in Roosevelt? Come on.
Yeah, that was a ground ball.
It's had all
like how they said, shooting ducks in a barrel.
Yeah, all the kids, the girls going to school, and the women going to work.
You're like the guy from the movie. I keep getting older, and they stay the same age.
Oh yeah, that's McConaughey. Right?
Yeah, dazed and confused.
Yeah. I had a foot post right on the corner, and I just had to stand there. You know what I mean? Just do what I had to do, and it was interesting.
The back of that memo book that you had.
Tell it.
The back of how many numbers did you have in the back of that memo book? Remember how I used to take the memo book, open in, and just add another number right there? All the names lined up.
It was an interesting.
You had to add a little something. She goes to she goes to St. Francis Prep. Meanwhile, you're.
No. You don't stay away from that.
I'm just kidding.
But I had fun. I had a lot of fun. And I respect the guys who didn't want to work with me because they didn't want to get jammed up. They were good guys. But a lot of people just didn't want to work with me because we had fun, And I worked with some crazy guys too. We had a lot of laughs, and good supervisors, and they just knew how to handle the situation at certain times. And we, it was more internal. You know what I mean? You don't jam each other up, all right? Just because you're a boss and someone does something wrong.
I think it's a different job now.
Like that,
I don't think these guys look. I mean, especially now, obviously they can't have fun. But I hope for the sake of it all that the people that are doing the job right now are having some fun. They're finding a way to have some fun because that camaraderie that's amongst, the people that you're working with in that type of job, and the things, not always the things that you have to see. I don't want to make it seem like you're seeing dead bodies all day, but just the fact that we're going through the same experience. Like, for example, you get that notification that you're working on New Year's Eve.
I
and
hated that.
you're looking around, and you're
Oh,
not going to
my
be with
ass
your
off.
friends. You're not going to be with your friends. You're
Hmm.
not going to be with your family. You're fucking pissed, right?
Yeah.
And then you get to work, and you see the people that you're going to work with, and you're like, it's not going to be that bad. We'll have fun. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the people that you're doing the horrible thing with.
Yeah, it's
You know what
true.
I'm saying?
True. You create your own fun, like I've been doing. Actually, that New Year's Eve dropping of the ball, I was in the hotel hanging out with a bunch of people. Half the
Uh-huh.
time. You know what I mean? It was like I said, I was a good cop, but I was also a fun cop. I did what I wanted to do in the criteria of the rules that I could just bend a little bit, and I did.
Uh-huh. You
I
mentioned,
took 20 years and I put it in 5.
uh-huh.
If you want to say it that way, you know. But I was serious when I had to be, but I also knew when to loosen it up and then just be silly, and make people liked working with me. It was an easy ride,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Plus, when you say people liked working with you, a lot of it has to do with being able to handle yourself, not just physically, but being able to communicate with people.
Sure, and I worked
You're
the
a
nightclub
certain-
business, bro. So I
yeah,
worked.
you're a certain stature, you know what I'm saying, and you know how to talk to people. So I remember the way they used to look at us in roll call when you just got to the command, like you were cattle, and you
Yeah.
see other people like looking at you like which one they're gonna pick out. And then like when roll call was over, you'd get approached by another cop or maybe another 2 cops. Hey, listen, you want to ride with us, kid? You know what I'm saying? Because you were big and it looked like you could handle yourself, but then you could also talk.
But they were also looking to see who's got their back, who's a snitch, who's freaking not a good cop, who's weak, right? Because you really want to work with somebody that is weak. Because you know what? When the shit hits the fan, okay, and you tassel on the floor with somebody, you want somebody it's got your back. And
Yeah.
I even worked with some really great women too. You know what I mean? They were really in there just as much as the guys were.
Mhm.
And the other people, they falter away. Like you can tell, cops have that instinct. They know if you're weak, you're strong. Okay, if you're a bullshit artist, whatever, they know it. Okay,
Mhm.
and when you're doing that every day, okay, you got that instinct that I hate to say we lost a lot of it. When you're not on the job, you lose that edge. Just that cutting. We're still sharp. We observe things, but we don't pick up every single thing that we used to because we were the heartbeat of the city. You know what I mean? We knew what the hell was going on. But now, like being away from the job, what, almost 25 years now? Shit, freaking crazy now, right? You get a little dull. You're not the same sharp piece that you were on the street, and that just comes with just the territory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still here, I'm still dealing with it. I especially now with all the crazies, there's not that many people say, oh, there's so many more crazy people in the city. It's not that there's more crazy people. It's just that all the other people are missing, the tourists and stuff. So
Yeah.
the crazy ones tend to stick out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're walking past, there's some blocks like you wouldn't even recognize it, Eddie, man. It's like, you go to, like, if you go to Madison Avenue, I don't know why, would you? Because there's nothing there. It's all commercial real estate and nobody's going into work. So all it is you're walking through like Will Smith, that movie with his dog. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like. And then every once in a while, like every 25, 30 feet, there'll be like a homeless dude cracked out and whatever, or 2 or 3 of them hanging out, listening to a radio, like what the fuck is going on? And if you don't look over your shoulder, one of these guys is going to punch you in the face. And it's nothing personal. It's just that at this time of day, I usually punch somebody in the face and there's nobody around. So you're going to get it. But listen, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
You mentioned, you said something really interesting. You said, I had a plan. So you're getting on the job, but you already know that this is just a stepping stone to get somewhere else. Did you know what that other else was? Did you already have like a kind of sort of a layout?
Well, you understand, this is 1993, okay? Going into, I was going out every night. 7 nights out of the week, I'd be going out. I knew all the clubs at every night of the week. And you always had something to go out with because you had a few of the cops, they're on the same schedule. So, plus I had a few of my other friends. And, being in the nightclub business since I'm 18, I had the city in my back pocket, China Club, Rascals, Cafe Society, all those places. Right. And I used to run Rascals. I used to run one of the front guys at Rascals, one of the hottest spots in the city on a Saturday night. And, so now I know all the juice to get in everywhere we needed to go. And I was partying every night. And then I said, if I'm going to do this, I got to get serious. So I stopped going out. Right. I got my big Dunkin' Donut black coffee at like 11 o'clock, right? Because we did 4 to 12s. And got back to the station house, ate my little protein and my banana, my coffee. And I went to the gym and I worked out at the BQE from midnight till about 5, 6 in the morning. So I got serious. And I did this every night. I saved money, I was healthy, and it was just a good time. And then I did a poster, and then leading into the Playgirl, I was doing modeling on the side. I was doing the underwears, little ads and this and that. And I got approached, right, by a photographer. And he was like, listen, I also do Playgirl, layouts. Are you interested? And I go, it's funny you say that, because that's actually part of my plan. It was just a coincidence how everything just lines up, Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, I'm definitely interested. So I got myself into even a little bit better shape. I approached Playgirl. He had hooked me up with Playgirl. I went down there. We negotiated. They were like, listen, are you ready to reveal yourself and this and that in your uniform? And we had called. I said, yeah. I knew exactly what I was doing. I didn't stop. I just kept going forward. Mm-hmm. And then the time came. I did the layout. No one really knew about it. And I did it in probably the end of December, going into January. And then they had to do all their marketing and setting up and, doing the magazine. And it got revealed, I think, in March, then April. And then I think it came out in April.
What year again?
It was in May 95. And then I did the layout, and that's when everything started. But you gotta remember, this is before the internet now.
Wait a minute. You said you did the layout. I thought you did the layout, and then they started pumping it.
No. They had to process it. I did the layout in December, and then they had to do all their marketing and planning, setting the magazine up. And it was ready by, I think, the end of March, going into April. That's when they reveal it, and then that's when the police department found out about it, and that's when the shit started hitting the fan. So, and then I got pulled off patrol. They put me in, what's that? The garage off of Queens Boulevard. CRS.
The Pound.
Yeah, I loved it over there. Detail. But besides that,
so you started going out with those guys then, right?
What? You make friends. They're all jammed up, so you know what?
Lose, right?
We're all losing our jobs. What the freak,
Yeah.
But
you always find somebody to go out with on that job. Like as soon as you get to a place, it doesn't take you long to figure out who's who goes out, who goes right home. You know what I'm saying? Who's a gym person? Who's complete degenerate?
There was a few people that actually were just licking their wounds, and they couldn't believe they're not going to be an officer anymore. And you know what I mean? Those are the people and you know what? You got to be scared. A little touch of. You got to be careful, because there's a lot of people being snitches too, trying to keep their job. You know what I mean? So you have to be careful who. Once again, we were saying we know who's who and who's what, and then plus the blue vine. What's your story? Why are you here? The real story. Okay, and then that gets around, and then you can be away from those people, and then you wait till they go home or their shifts end, and then you have a party. Yeah.
So you're working at the Pound right now while all this shit is happening around you.
Yeah, I was doing interviews. I was told not to. I didn't care. They were going to squash me either way, and I was looking forward to the lawsuit, and because I was going to get more attention. Any news is good news if you know how to tailor it into your situation, and they came through the back door though.
Who's doing the thinking for you right now? This is just all you?
This is all me.
So you don't have any help?
No help. I just went in.
Maybe you had a manager and it was like guiding.
I ended up having one, okay, but those people were all losers. You know what I mean?
The original game plan.
They weren't aggressive. You know what I mean? They weren't thinking outside the box, and that's what I was looking for. All right, everything I was doing is outside the box, and then they were too conservative, if you want to say, and I wanted to blow this thing up I wanted to get the biggest splash I could, and I went through like 3 different agents, and then
you're basically going in there and telling them what you want to do, and they're not doing it.
Exactly, and this is before the internet really got big. This is 95. I know you can never think of the world being without the internet, but before 95, nobody had social media. You know,
I was
all
thinking
the
about
reality stuff was out there, not even starting yet. So we're like the beginning of what reality shows are, you know?
yeah, I
You're
was thinking about
ordinary guy trying to get, a big splash. And, I tried to get that whole Hollywood thing. And I tried to, open up every door I could. And, they were limited. So, and I'm so happy. I know I can think of it now. I probably would have been one of those assholes. If I would have ended up doing really well in the movie world or Hollywood, I would have probably been one of those Hollywood jerk-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just because you get money, you get attention. Okay, your reality is altered because you're not living in the real world. All right, and these guys are like gods to some people, and you forget what reality is. And I'm glad that I went through my trip. I fell right on my face. I did what I had to do to get back. And after hard work and waking up and seeing what life is really about, getting involved with my wife and having kids, it's changed everything. You know what I mean? I'm a family man. I got everything out of my system.
Let's go back to the fun times, though. But you skipped way ahead. We skipped out on all the. There was a moment in time there, though. There was a moment in time. You're on the job. You're working in the pound. All this stuff is dropping around you. You said you're doing interviews where you're not supposed to. All this stuff is heating up. They talk about the 15 minutes of fame, whatever. But in that moment, that arc right there where it's starting to shoot up, what was that like? You don't have to tell me crazy stories or something like that. I'm just saying the feeling of now all of a sudden, this kid, Eddie Mallia from Astoria, Queens, that nobody even heard of, but a great guy. But now all of a sudden he's popping up on national television. You're turning on the TV and you're on that night's fucking whatever the show was on Channel 5. I can't even remember.
Extra, hard
Extra.
copy.
All the news agencies had your original photo from the Playgirl in your uniform, and this is getting to be a big deal. So wherever you're going right now, I'm sure people are looking at you and they're like, hey, what was that like?
Well, there was a lot going on there because then they started to, there was one of the pictures that had me on patrol, and in the police, in the RMP was the partner I was working with that night, Billy Wolf, great guy. And we had called it. They found out through the photographer what day the shooting was. They found out through roll call who was the driver, and they were going to fire him too, saying that he was in on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
They came through the back door. So me and him were talking on the side, and then he was like, "Dude, this is what of a cool guy he was." He was like, "Ed, I know what you got to do." I said, he goes, I'm with you. He goes, whatever you're going to do, I'm standing behind you and you make the call. So he was actually almost willing to lose his job. I wasn't. I knew what I was doing for me. I couldn't let him do that. So I ended up cutting a deal with that. I said, listen, you leave him alone, I'll resign. So they got me. I donated my money to charity. So how are they going to actually fire somebody for just doing a good thing?
Which money you donated to charity?
The money I made from Playgirl.
I thought you meant the police department check, because charity would have went like this. What the fuck is this? We don't need what paycheck is this? Get out of here.
Yeah, so they went through the back door. So with all this going on, I had to worry about him now. Between everything else what's going on, what's my next move? All right, this radio station wants to do something, this TV show wants to do something. There was all this attention around me, and I was trying to make the right decisions because now I had a lawsuit going and I had to stay in a certain criteria. They were going to fire my friend, right? So I had to stay in this criteria. So it was almost like I became like a businessman, okay, in something that I did just because I wanted to do. But now I'm structuring where I'm going after this and trying to portray a certain image out there of what's going on. And like I said, I was in this criteria with all these laws in the background and this and that. I had to make sure everything was good. And it was intense. But believe it or not, I think training and doing a lot of cardio relaxed my mind a lot. And it made me go into the situation a lot easier, you know? And,
what was I going to say? Fuck, I forgot the question right now. Shit. So whatever happened with your partner? Oh, this was the question. So these people from the Playgirl, they couldn't even set up a scenario where they got a freaking had you off duty somewhere. You actually they came by, they stopped by wherever you were patrolling, and they took pictures of your uniform.
Yeah, well, I knew they were going to do that. You know,
What?
I knew that they were going to do that.
No, I know, but if you know, in hindsight, they could have very easily said, you know, you could have recorded it and put it, look, at this date and time, and you just throw your shirt on. You just happen to stand by a police car in the city. I wasn't working on that day. It wasn't on.
No, they wanted me to be on patrol. They wanted to have something authentic, and you know that was one of the stingers that ended up costing me. But you know, I'm happy the way things worked out. You know, I went through so much shit over the years. You know what I mean? After the Playgirl, I opened up a bar. Like the day I resigned, that night I went live from my bar right next to Madison Square Garden.
So wait a minute. The day that you resigned, so this took a while then, right? From the time. So I want to just go back a little bit. You also had some TV appearances. I remember you were on NYPD Blue.
No.
Wasn't that the show with
I wasn't on that show.
Which one was it? Or were they looking at your magazine on the show?
Maybe that's what
you walked in. I thought, wasn't that the scene that you got on one of the TV shows when you walk in and they're looking at your magazine?
I don't know. I don't even see that one. You're telling me something new. I don't even know that myself.
No, I thought that was part of the. No, I thought that was part of the deal from what you did back then. That you had a cameo on a TV show, and I thought it was NYPD Blue.
No.
And you came in. No.
No.
Maybe that was just one of the fantasies that I jerked off to. You know, if I close my eyes, I could still see you in those jean shorts. The way they would cut it in the front.
That's not good.
I don't know why I had that thought in my head. I could have sworn that happened.
Get rid of
it. So, how long did it take from the time that the magazine came out until you actually got fired?
I think they stretched it out probably about 8 months.
8 months, and in that time, were you still going to work at the Pound every day? You just said,
yeah.
I
was still going to the gym. I was still doing what I got to. I didn't do anything there. I slept on the couch more. I think I had like a groove still in the couch that I was sleeping on most of the time.
Those couches, huh?
What? Yeah. Well, everybody there was leaving. You know what I mean?
You talk about a hazmat suit. Like if I would have known back then when I was sleeping on those couches, I would have put a hazmat suit on.
Yeah.
You could have seen the couches in the 110. I used to make a drunk driving collar, and like you fotzing around down. First of all, the room is pitch black except for this TV that's all the way in the thing, and you have to actually feel to see if there's a body on that couch, and you don't want to turn on the lights because it's nothing but rats and roaches running around in there. But man, when you're tired, you go to sleep anywhere.
That's true. That is true.
So it was 8 months. Now, talk about that arc of fame between getting recognized and you going out to clubs, you're having fun. How long did that last?
Did what?
Just the whole fame thing, like getting recognized and people like, because I remember you were doing signings too. Didn't you do signings too?
I did a poster signing at Exit. Expose. That was that club. And actually I think there were 2 cops that actually owned Expose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I did a big thing over there. There was a good launch thing and a few TV shows, and you know, it was fun. It was fun, but it wasn't going in the direction that I actually wanted. And then
you ever get approached by to do porn?
Yeah, I've always got. Even when I was a freaking young kid, there's a lot of sick freaking people out there, man.
And you never thought about?
No, I would never do that. You know, my mother's alive, and plus, I have, you know, just because I take my clothes off, then I have no respect for myself. You know, it's just.
How was that actually the shoot? Like having to get naked in front of a room full of people?
It wasn't. It was just me and the photographer. So it wasn't that. Overwhelming. It just had to be. I don't know. It was a part of my life that everything just fell in line, and I just did it. You know, without even thinking. You know, too much. And you know, I knew what I wanted to do, and I did it. And then after that, life got a little, difficult. I ended up opening up a bar, and I became a bar owner.
Where was the bar? Wasn't it in Midtown?
Yeah, it was right next to Madison Square Garden.
I remember at that time I had bumped into you, and we were talking a little bit. I remember that time, and you
You were on a job at the time. You were.
Yeah. But I had also started with the acting. I also started with the acting at that time, because you're talking. I came out in '92. You said all this happened in '95, and by that time I was already acting. So I remember bumping into you and you talking to me, and inviting me to come to the bar. What? So that you're saying that how long did that bar last?
Like 2 years. I got bought out and I moved on because.
So was it good? Did you like owning a bar?
I loved it. I've been in the bar business since I'm 18 years old, and actually that was my income for many years after being out on the cop when I came back and I had to start all over again.
Did you, when you were working like being at the bar, owning the bar, did you wear those shorts?
What? No, it wasn't like that.
There was no Fast Eddie moments where you get up on the stage and start dancing?
Nah. Believe it or not, after doing all that, I've become more of like a little shy, actually. Because as you get older, you start changing, and my mind is so different what it was when I was younger.
You seem like when you were young, I was actually very impressed because the way you tell the story. I mean, I was out there, man. I wasn't so focused on success so much the way you were, but I definitely knew I had to do something else. I wound up staying the whole 20 years on the job. And
congratulations, man. That's an accomplishment by itself.
Yeah, but I had these outside interests. I was a comedian for 15 of the years on the cop. I was an actor for 18 of the years. Always auditioning, always trying to I never thought that I'd make the 20 because I'd have these moments where I'd actually have a part on TV, or I'd be doing comedy on shows.
This is it. Pack the bags. We're going to Hollywood.
Yeah, I would get this tick, 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 like you're going up a roller coaster. Tick, 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 tick. And then you're ready to go. And then all I need is that one more push to become successful in this business.
And it goes backwards. Yeah.
But people don't understand too. It's a lot of pushing. Like, you have moments where you push, you're doing everything that you have to do to become successful, reaching out, whatever the nonsense minutia that it is, trying to become successful in this dumb business. But
you deal with a lot of assholes too. The people behind the cameras, getting in front of the camera is the easy part.
Yeah.
It's dealing with all the behind the scenes stuff, the agents, the casting directors, the directors. All these people are just scum. Or just about all of it. I met a few good people, but majority of that business is just sleazy. It's got this whole image of being so glamorous and everything. It's a cutthroat business. And there's a lot of
you have to wade through the initial people in the business, because after you've been doing it for a number of years, and then you start working with people that actually this is their job. They're not looking to get into it too, because the same way you're an actor, you're a comedian, you're a model, they're trying to be, that's on the other end. Once you become a little bit more established in the business and you can get past those new people, then you're also dealing with people who do it for a living, and it's different. Like, I was on Law and Order last year, and then FBI, the same casting agent. I've known that guy for, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I when he cast me finally for Law and Order, I think I might have kissed him in the mouth, because I was like, I've been here for 20 years. When you stick his name in me? And, I was going out to audition to play a cop most of the time, and I was a cop, and they would never give me the part. I'm like, what the hell do I got to do? It was 2 lines. And then finally he gave it to me. And then it's just a question of just, you get to know these people, and now you start working together with them. So, most of the people that I encounter right now, they've been in the business for a while. This is what they do. They're very professional. They're very nice. So, yeah, I'm fortunate in that way that I got through it. And I could always, when I see a new person or somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, yeah, all right, whatever. You want to be on these? Yeah, give me a call, But let me know when the money's there. How much? Yeah. That's what I always ask. Yeah, how much?
Everybody wants you, but nobody wants to pay. Yeah, isn't that like everything is like, oh, this is great for your portfolio. It's great for your resume, and then they're all making the money. You know what I mean? So that was another thing with things when I was doing all these talk shows and getting paid, negotiating money.
If somebody even mentions those words to me in a conversation, like, yeah, it'd be good like I'm hanging up during the middle of exposure. Fuck you and your exposure. I don't want radiation right now. Get away from me.
You always determined, though. You always had a certain way about you since I know you since high school. right? You're your own man, right? Even back then, when you were your tail, right? You free, you had your shit together. You know what I mean?
It's amazing how many people came out of Astoria that are like that. Like if you look at like Ditto Montiel, like he's a famous director.
Yeah.
There's so many people that have come out of Astoria that have become successful.
Yeah.
And I can't think of one right now besides I had this whole list in my head of all these people that I know that are successful right now. But they're definitely out there. It definitely the neighborhood was so chock full of different ethnicity.
Very diverse. Very diverse.
Yeah. But then also predominantly like Greek and Christian.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of male characters come out of there, man. And I'm still, I'm still friends with like my friend Greg the Greek.
Yeah.
He's involved too. He's doing comedy, and he's involved in film production too. He's writing screenplays, and there's a lot of people who got involved. My friend, you remember Pete Georges? He's out in LA. He owns like you'd remember Pete. He was like my best friend, my height, or in a nice looking guy. Anyway, he's in LA, and everybody was doing fine or trying to anyway before the COVID. Yeah. I hope he's doing great still. We speak periodically, but it's this whole thing with the COVID is a day by day thing. You keep just losing things. You know what it reminds me of? The Monty Python sketch when the two guys, the Black Knight and the White Knight, and they're facing off against each other. And the guy goes and the first swing and he cuts off one of his arms. He goes, "Oh, that's okay. It's a flesh wound."
It's only a flesh wound.
And he cuts off his other arm. And then it's like
come back, I'll bite your ankles or something like that.
This is what the COVID is like. Oh yeah, you want to still survive? Boom. Try doing it.
It's challenging right now for everybody. It's just a different world, man. And this election is not going to be easy. All right, no matter who wins, you know what I mean? Usually you hear, oh, if Trump wins, everything will be fine. And it's not. No matter who wins, they're saying this financial storm is coming. It's going to be a shitstorm.
Yeah, there's always those pessimists. The people.
Yeah, but there's a big one coming. No one's really talking about it.
Well, ever since Trump was got elected, they kept saying about how the market's going to crash. It's so easy to say the market's going to crash, and then when it does, you go, "Oh, I told you." How long have you been saying that? For fucking 10 years already? That the market's going to. Of course, one day it's going to crash. No shit. That's what happens.
It's past the 8 to 10 years right now, so we're headed towards a really big one. But this is going to be a global one. This is a different animal. We've never seen this one before. This is going to be bad. And only thing I could say is just.
Yeah, but you know what though?
It's like a hurricane though.
That's why you better get your iPhone 12 right now. Because you're not going to have money for it. These motherfuckers coming out with another phone right now in the middle of the COVID. No charger, no freaking earbuds, nothing. You want to give me get the fuck out of here. I want to kill these fucks. Because then I'm thinking I got to switch to an Android. I don't want to keep dealing with this shit. But on the other hand, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to learn the Android all over again.
Hey, I'm a Mac guy myself.
So they got you by, I'm getting the updates. I got to update constantly because whenever a new phone is around the corner, you start getting the updates.
Sure.
For your phone, because that's when they start, like, once again, hacking the arm off. It's just the flesh wound. So wait a minute. You know what is messed up, though? If you would have done all this that you're doing right now or did back then.
I have my own TV show, bro. I swear.
We've definitely been The Bachelor or at least on The Bachelorette. No, because those shows. No, I'm just saying those. No, I'm saying one of the male guys on the Bachelor.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. If I wouldn't be the lead character, I wouldn't be that vulnerable. These guys, they get treated like shit on that show.
You know what? You this is the difference between me and you. You said I wouldn't be. I would only be the lead. One time I remember getting dressed up in the tuxedo, and I was one of 100 fucking other dudes who went on the West Side Highway, and we filmed the opening to The Bachelorette. We weren't on the show, The Bachelorette. We weren't one of the contestants, but I was like one of these idiots running after her, all the way on the west side of Manhattan, running through the park after her. Yeah, like a fucking I've been a fluffer my whole life. I don't give a fuck. I'm not giving up. You don't know me, man.
Well, you're doing hey, listen, you're doing good, bro. You've been in the game for a while, and you're still at it. And you know, you're doing stuff. The only thing right now is a comedy. You can't get out there right now, right? That must suck. You know, are you traveling out of state to some states that actually are open?
There's some stuff going on. They're all weird. They're all awkward. Sometimes some of them are not even comedy. I'll tell you one thing that's funny. This is what life is like for me anyway. Like, so I'm doing comedy on Zoom, which is fucking ridiculous. It's just, you can't even imagine what it's like to try to do jokes for a screen, and you don't, it started getting better. You started seeing the people in their living rooms and stuff like that. And I wasn't going to do it anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to, this isn't what I wanted in comedy. So if this is what it's going to be like, I'm going to give it up. And then somebody calls me up and they go, hey, do you want to do this Zoom show next Friday? I don't know. Like, I got $250 for you. I was like, I'll do it. And then and then after that, I realized this is fucking great. I'm in my living room. I don't even have to pay attention to the rest of the show. I'm watching TV. I'm in a green room in Zoom. That's a dark place, that green room in Zoom, by the way. So I'm watching, and then all of a sudden it was my time to come on. I did my jokes, and then when I was done, leave meeting, and I went back. It literally took me $20. He Zoomed me the 20 minutes, Zoomed me the money. I was like, this is the greatest money I ever got in my life. I'll do this every day, twice on Thursdays. Uh-huh. So money makes all the difference, at least for me anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, I went off on a rant there, but
feel better?
So wait a minute. I got questions for you, brother. I'm not done with you yet. So, how did that name Fast Eddie come up? Were you fast growing up?
Nah, well, I was really fast. I was the fastest guy in the neighborhood. That's besides the point. It had nothing to do with where I got the name.
Yeah, but you were faster than Eddie Legovich?
What?
Were you faster than Eddie Legovich?
No, the fastest guy in the neighborhood was this kid named Anthony Curiosity, the Greek.
Well, Eddie grew up. We went to high school with him too. He was my best friend growing up, and he was fast, man. He was a speed.
I do remember him now.
I know you do. You played baseball, right, in high school, right?
Oh, I played a little. I didn't. I didn't do that much.
Yeah, you probably played as much as I played basketball.
What?
Team. I saw. Once you got the yearbook picture, you were good, right? I'm just doing this for the ladies. I used to play I was on the basketball team, and the girls used to come to watch me play. And when they realized that I wasn't going to play, they used to put my name on a piece of loose leaf, Mayo, right here, and where my seat was on the bench.
Wow.
To make a joke, yeah. So, were you on the track team too?
No.
No, you were in the gym thing though.
I played ICYP football. It was like in the neighborhood league.
Yeah.
I just never went with anything with football. I loved football. Football was my passion. I was pretty good at it.
Have you ever seen the field lately?
I'm sorry?
Have you seen the field? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. I haven't been in New York in 8 years.
It's so depressing. I go by there when my son was playing baseball for Elm Jack.
The pitcher, right? He was a pitcher.
Yeah, he was good.
LaSalle? Did he go to LaSalle or something? Where did he go to school?
He went to Cardozo.
Cardozo, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, they won the city championship that the year that he when he was a junior.
Awesome.
Which is weird because they never won the city. I think it was 26 years.
Uh-huh.
So I always tell my son, I said, you're going to look back upon that experience because he played in Yankee Stadium.
Oh, cool.
So that's where they had the game. So that's like something like, you can't take away. But I forgot what I was going to say.
Right.
Anywho, let me see what else I got for you. Hold on here. Hold on, kids. There's more coming. They didn't even have Photoshop back then or nothing. So whatever pimple you had on your ass, I guess it came out in the pictures, right? I was going to tell my girlfriend who I was having on the show there, and I was like, hey, you know what? Why would I do that? Now she's going to go digging up this. That's another thing. It's like you have young kids right now. So yours was like kind of sort of pre-internet. It's not like having a mom who's a stripper or a porno star now when the poor kids go to school. I always wonder about those kids. Like, are kids mean like that to each other nowadays? I don't know.
I'm not in that criteria.
You remember when we were kids, though, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We made fun, but in the same regards, we had heart. You know what I mean? You're a comedian, right? I consider myself a comedian without a mic in my hand. I always put fun into everything because it's like a lubrication of life, and by actually laughing and joking, but we weren't devious to the people. You know what I mean? There's a difference.
I should have hung
I
out.
gotta be creative instead of stabbing somebody with verbal, words. I like to be creative and funny instead of being devious and stabbing them and making them feel like shit to make me feel good. I wasn't one of those people. Right? I just loved laughing.
I went to boarding school too, though, and then.
You went to boarding school?
Yeah, before I went to high school there.
Really? I didn't know
that. I might as well have been in a little kid prison.
Wow.
No, really, man. We used to make fun of each other's mother, and everybody, because my mother was pretty, everybody's like, yo, what's your mother's number and stuff. No, it was, yeah. So I wonder about that because, like, your kids are not going to be able to find your stuff. Like, you'd have to actually whip out the magazine. Which, by the way, do you still have copies? You have any copies left?
I got one copy.
Because if you want, I bought like 10. I still have them somewhere. I know exactly where they are. By the way,
that issue's the all-time bestseller, The History of the Magazine. So I did something good out of that. It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, but how much attention did you get from guys? Because a lot of people say that.
No, I got a lot of attention that way too, and the people too. You know what I mean?
Still keep in touch with any of those guys?
I'm sorry.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the guys?
No.
I'm just kidding. Look at your face.
Actually, it's funny. Is my mom was dealing with my fan mail, and people were sending dicks and freaking, like,
oh my God,
like Xerox my dick, and then like put about like 30 of them on one page, right? And then my mom is opening this up. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, mom, you're not doing this anymore.
That's great.
Yeah, it was interesting. There's a lot of sick freaking people out there, bro. I mean, really, just demented freaking sick. I still get shit. I actually got something like 6 months ago. Somebody sent me a bunch of pictures and they wanted me to sign it. And they sent me a self-addressed envelope, which I did. All right? I have no problem signing. Hey, listen, you're a fan, you're a fan. Just don't go over that line. You know what I mean? What I did is what I did. Right? Don't be disrespectful and don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? And the guy said I signed him and I sent it back.
That was nice of you.
It is what it is.
Honey, this is for you.
But my world is so different now, and I'm just so happy. Like when I was in New York, I hit a wall. I wasn't going anywhere. I was dead in the water. Right?
What do you mean was dead in the water?
I was just dead. I wasn't working. Right? I was freaking living in a mom's condo, right, in New York.
After you sold the bar?
After I sold the bar, I moved to California. I moved to San Francisco with my ex-girlfriend.
With that money that you sold the bar with, you went to California. What were you going to do there?
I was going to open a business with my ex-girlfriend's uncle, which this didn't work out. Okay, and I was going to open a bar. I was going to open this theme bar that I had this concept that I was working on for a really long time. But I think I just left to escape New York. So then I was out there for 3 months, and that was fell apart. And I was just out there with my thumb in my ass, and I'm like, all right, let me come back. So I came back. It didn't work out between me and my ex. And then I got back into the bar business, worked the bar business for a little bit.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York.
Okay.
I was personally training. I did a few clients on the Upper East Side. I was doing that for a while. And then I started working at 151's, the nightclub.
I used to go there, I think, yeah.
Yeah, every Saturday night. It was awesome. It was one of the head bartenders over there. And, we had a lot of fun. That was a good place to shine. But it's a bar. You're a bartender. You're going to make you fun. You're a celebrity in a spot for a night. You know what I mean? And I did that for a group of years. And then did all kinds of stuff. Moved out to L.A. with my buddy Scotty Baker, who's also a comedian. I think you know him. He's on the job.
Yeah.
Hired from the job now.
Yeah, good job.
We moved out to L.A. Our other friend Ray was already living out there. Scotty was working on his SAG card. And I just needed to escape again.
Were you studying acting at this time?
No, I didn't do any of that. I just
saying, like so your whole thing was kind of like business-wise. If you were going to get any fame, it was just to push it into your business, to push your business, right? Because like
I felt that I was a natural. You know what I mean? So,
I didn't. I studied acting for 2 years in a theater school, and then I joined a theater company and did that for 3 years. That's when I first started actually going on auditions and stuff like that. And like I've always been fascinated with just the work itself. The rest of it is just noise for me. I love, jumping into it, like as dumb as it sounds, jumping into a part. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you're doing shit and I'm not. So.
It's like my friend Pete was the same way. Like he dabbled in acting too, but he always had this. He loves restaurants, and he was always talking about restaurants. And he went to LA to be an actor, but in the meantime, he owns restaurants. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I still got it in me, but all this COVID stuff, I can't open a restaurant down here. I have a plan to in a few years, but right now I'm doing property investing. I buy houses and I fix them up. I sell a few and I hold a few with some tenants. But in the same regards, this whole COVID thing just changed my whole plan. And I'm selling a bunch of my houses. I'm buckling down. I'm telling you, there's a financial storm coming.
I was going to sell my house too, but then I realized I don't own it. This girl Linda owns it.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I put it on the market too. Nobody wants it.
Oh boy!
Something about a deed. You need like there's some paperwork or something. I don't know. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I actually had a house before, but so you're thinking about selling all you see, but you're doing good though. You did good.
Well, I came from nothing though, because what happened was I was in New York, right, and my finger in my ass doing absolutely nothing, right, smoking weed and freaking designing T-shirts because I had a T-shirt company.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember the T-shirts.
And I was just passing time. I was going to the gym, drinking a bottle of Jack, and freaking coming home, and then going to. I was in great shape. I think my liver was probably terrible, but I went through all these I went, I guess, through a depressing stage because I did everything I wanted to do, and I had to reinvent myself. And I didn't know what the hell to do with myself. I was good in a lot of different things. I just didn't know what. So then my buddy moved down to Vero Beach, and he was down here about 2004, and he established himself in the property investing world. And 2009 going into 10, he was like, dude, this is the best time to come down. If you're going to do anything, okay, this is the time to come down, right? Because you're going to catch that wave. He goes, come live with me. He goes, just watch what I do, okay, and how I negotiate deals and this and that. So I sold the condo. I didn't even own the condo. I actually cut a deal with them. I said, listen, we've been here for 30 years. Okay, I'll leave if you give me some move money. Right? So they gave me a few bucks.
Where is this in Astoria?
Yeah, the Jackson Heights.
Okay.
In that park. So they gave me a few bucks. Right? I paid a few people off that I owed. And then I came down here and I had a few, about 17,000 left. All right. And then 6 months, I did absolutely nothing and just observed. And then I bought my first house. Then I bought my second house. I bought my third house. 35 houses later.
Wow.
I've done my thing. And then, I'm down to 15 now. I'm selling everything because the market is too good. And they're saying that you're not going to see these prices when the shit hits for another 20 to 25 years. This is a peak right now. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to buckle down and get ready for the storm, and I worked my ass off to get down here. And, I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I was always a laborer. I wasn't a mechanic by doing, I painted. That's what I did. I painted since I'm 15 years old. Now I have a painting company I just started called Big Rooster Painting. And we call it just trying to get that off the ground now. So I'm trying to wear a few different hats right now. And owning a business where you're property investing, you're
Oh, you froze up, man. Don't tell me you're freezing up. Fuck. We were cooking, man. We were cooking and you froze up. Shit. That was so good, man. What the fuck? So, I don't know how to fix this. Eddie, you froze up. Hello?
And a power surge. I'm trying to reboot it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I figured something happened.
Yeah, so in the middle of the conversation, but I get once in a while.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay now because you disappeared. Let's just log in again.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, man. It happens sometimes with other guests too, but this we're talking about. There are in other parts of the country as well. I'm scared to put it on pause. It's still recording right now.
Okay, but you can always edit this out, right?
Yeah, I could, but I probably won't because I don't know how to edit.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I could send this. I hate to make them wait too, but I have a friend that I'll ask her to do it for me because this is worth it. I just got to see how far away we are in. What time are we at right now? What happened?
12:02. My internet's not going up. I don't know what the hell. I'm waiting for it right now. I thought we were going good too. There we go. Cool.
All right, we're back. It's recording again. Fuck, what a miracle. So you had a power outage over there, huh?
Yeah, I had a power outage.
What is that, a surge?
Yeah, you get them every once in a while. So, but where were we?
Well, I get over here, but that's usually when I don't pay my Con Ed.
Yeah, that's not good.
So where were we? We were talking about. Well, while we were on the phone trying to figure out this power surge, I mentioned you talked about the podcast, and this is it's very specific. That's what's good about podcasts; they're very specific. So the way you talk about flipping houses, and you have that experience, you know what I'm saying? You throw on that tight T-shirt or the cut up tank top they used to wear, and you do your real estate show like that. I'm sure you get a lot of fans. The Fast Eddie real estate show, whatever, man. What was the other one that called? You got the perverted painting business. What's the name of that one?
Big Rooster.
The Big Cocks. Big
Rooster Painting Company.
That's painting.
Yeah, actually, I'll send you a few T-shirts when I make them. All right. Yeah, actually, it's a good logo. I designed it. It actually looks pretty funny. It's good.
Yeah, see, well, that's the creative side of you. You like doing stuff like that. You like.
I went to school. I went to FIT. I went to advertising design. Loved it.
You just wanted to fuck every chick in the world. That's what you wanted to do. You're a stripper. You went to FIT. With the bodybuilding. All the working out that you were doing. Did you ever think about just going full tilt into bodybuilding?
Nah, it's too much drugs. It's and you get to look like a freak. Hey, listen, whatever they do, as long as they're happy, they're great. But to distort my body to unnormal levels, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I wanted to be a pro so bad, and I love that freaky look, but I just, like you said, the drugs were too much.
And the shit they have today, freaking, it just blows you up into something else. Still got to put your hard work in, and it's still dieting. Hey, I tip my hat to them. It's not an easy field to go into. There's a lot of dedication, and your whole world changes.
Yeah, I still follow the sport. You know what I'm saying? I'm still fascinated by it. The diet is the real torture of it, and I gotta hand it to bodybuilding for one thing. Put discipline in my life. Those years that I was dieting to compete, that discipline, at least I did it once in my life. It's like being in the military. You know,
I saw pictures of you, dude. You were diesel, bro. You can see you put your time in. You're talking about it, but those pictures show it.
Yeah, I wanted to be like. I wanted to go with. That was. But then I started thinking to myself, the performance part of me is like that. You get up on stage once every year, maybe twice if you're lucky. And the prep that goes into that 5 minutes of getting on stage, I was like, screw that, man. I could do, stand-up comedy. If you need attention, man, you could get up 5-6 times a night in New York City.
Yeah. And,
get all the attention that you need, good or bad. Which brings me to another point, because, when I think about moving, I can't. Stand-up is, even though it's dead right now, and it's on life support, all I keep thinking about is hopefully you'll get better. And, depending on which comic and how much, experience, how long they've been doing it. Like my friend John told me last week, Marooney, who's been doing it for 30, 35 years. He was like, it's going to be 3 years before it gets any better. So he said he's quitting. And It's like, when you talk to somebody who has that much experience and has seen the business, for that long, 3+ decades, he knows what he's talking about. So now all of a sudden, there goes what we were talking about, cutting off your right arm. It's just a flesh wound, but that was a huge source of income for me. So now that was the only thing that kept me in New York, really, because I don't like the cold weather. I got arthritis. I'm like an old man.
I traded in snow for sand. That's the way it goes, bro.
Yeah, but I love being with the hurricanes, though, right?
Yeah, the only bad thing I got to say is it sucks. I worked really hard to have my own home and to actually have a certain time of the year saying, Mother Nature saying that, you know what, maybe I'll take it this year. You know what I mean? It gets flooded down. I live four blocks from the beach, and we get flooded really easy. And we're the first ones evacuated off the island, and that really sucks. And then I'm in another place wondering if my house is going to be there when I come back. That's the only bad thing I got to say about Florida that I really don't like. I even like the hot weather. I don't mind it. Even though I'm outside busting my ass with the houses, sweating my ass, going through 2-3 shirts a day of sweat. It's fine. It's the hurricanes. It just really, really just not agrees with me.
I just got a chubby.
Yeah. Oh boy. Hey, did you ever play the Comedy Cellar?
Yeah, of course.
You played that? I love that place. You with the Israeli restaurant upstairs, Middle Eastern food upstairs.
Yeah, they got good.
I saw some of the top three. I seen everybody there. Anybody that's somebody today, I seen them all there. I didn't see you there yet.
No. I've been, I performed. I did the title. I take for Jay-Z's network there. I got a couple of things online from recorded at the Cellar. Yeah, they're all hurting these poor comedy club businesses right now, and I don't know if it's going to be able. Like Dangerfield's just closed.
Yeah, I know. I saw you posted that.
Dangerfield's was like, good or bad. It was what it was. It's like ground zero for comedy. Like, if you want to go and see the best club, decor wise, you know what I'm saying? The best comedians, you'd go to one place. If you wanted to go where, comedy goes to die, you'd go there. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I hate to see any businesses closed that I grew up with. Like, sometimes you see, read it in the newspaper here in New York, this business is going out, and that's like a business that I frequented during my life. I remember it, and it bothers me, but that's, it's life in a way, you know what I'm saying?
That's the entrepreneur in you too. You don't want to see anybody else fail. I feel the same way. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to do a business. Everybody who doesn't know how to run a business or own a business, they just see it opens. Okay, they go to work, they close. Just so much work and preparation and planning that goes into any business. Legally, to get yourself situated, to make it even harder for you now to open up a business. They don't want you to have a business. They want you to be part of them. They want you to be on the government, But in the same regards, it takes a lot of work for any business to own and operate and be successful. I learned that over.
Did you just get another power surge?
I'm traveling. Excuse me?
No, I thought maybe you got another power surge.
No.
It froze up a little bit. How often do you go to the beach? The one that's right by your house?
Well, believe it or not, I live 4 blocks from it, and we don't use it as much as by being that close. I go on vacation, and I have to be at the beach. It just, everywhere I went had a beach, and now having it down the block, it's like I don't take advantage of it as much, and it's terrible, but I do make a point on the weekends. It's family time. No matter how busy I am, I take Saturday and Sundays off, and we do stuff and go to the beach.
God forbid you spend the moment with your
family. I try to make family.
No matter how busy Daddy gets, I'm going to come in and I'll take you somewhere, kids. Don't worry. Saturday's right around the corner.
Well, you know how it is.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
Kids are, and they're what, 18 and 21 or something like that?
No, my son's 23 and my daughter's 21.
All right, so look how fast they grew up, right?
I'm so jealous that your kids are young. I love that age.
I hear that from everybody, that, and I'm absorbing that. I'm absorbing, and I'm trying to hold on to the moments. And I think about everybody says it goes fast. It goes fast. So I see my sons, and I look at them, and those moments, instead of just going through the motions and it's done, I actually really I I just love the fact my kids are around me. I have them in my attention, and they're my kids, and they're growing up around like us, me and my wife, and we're doing everything we can for them, and I'm enjoying it. I love being a dad.
It's tough because you're trapped between recording and watching, because you want to watch it and take it in, but you don't want. You're like, what am I doing? Am I recording? Am I watching? Am I recording? Am I watching? So one of you guys has to record, and the other one has to actually pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And then you can switch halfway through, because you want to record, but you want to also be in the moment.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's tough.
Only my wife do pretty well. You know, I think she does.
You should hire a freaking professional person to live with you and all your houses, and just have them video and record everything. This way you could just that's what I would do with my money. I would say, you know what, fuck cooking,
record your life.
Record everything, especially when I would point to my wife, especially when she's saying stupid shit. I want you to record that. No, but you hire somebody to kind of sort of record so you could actually be in the moment. That's a brilliant idea. Somebody should. I'm gonna start. That's the business I'm gonna start it. You know,
the life camera guy.
Yeah. Somebody that just records your life. That's their whole life is recording your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, man, because you have somebody who drives you. If you have money, why not? What am I taking pictures for? Film the fucking thing. I pay somebody to do it. You know, I've cursed more on this episode than I think I've on over 100. The F word keeps coming. Maybe it's the Astoria coming out of me.
I don't know if that's good or bad, actually.
You go drive back through Astoria. It doesn't take much to look at somebody. What the fuck are you looking at? Because it's just something about it.
If I go to the neighborhood now, I probably wouldn't recognize one person. I used to know everybody. I never even had a car until I was in until I became a cop, right? Because I used to get rides everywhere.
Me too. I know. You didn't have money.
Everything was a walking distance away. If I had to take the train into the city, I'd walk to Ditmars or take the bus down to Ditmars and jump on the N train, right? And when I get off the train, there'd be somebody I seen that would drive me home. Like, I never needed a car. I knew everybody, right? The last time I was there, right, I didn't know anybody. It's changed so bad that I don't recognize my own neighborhood anymore. You know, it's sad, you know? And I've been hearing a lot of crazy bad things, and, you know, the neighborhood's changed, and the city alone, it's a freaking armpit. You know, it's really not good. I look at New York like a bathroom now. You just got to do what you got to do and get out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, thanks for saying that.
All my friends are going, like, dude, you make the best decision by getting out. You know, they're stuck. There's a lot of people that can leave, but they have obligations to businesses, their jobs, family members. They can't pop out of that bubble. You know?
Yeah, I have the opportunity, man. I have Tommy White is in Vegas.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
My other friend Pete's in LA. Both of my best friends growing up. I could very easily pack up and just go there and be like, hey, do me a favor, just give me a little, job here so I can start up and I'm figuring it out.
Vegas, you do your stand-up out there, no?
What?
In Vegas, you can do your stand-up.
Yeah. I don't know, but I always forget this. But I mean, how could you forget? But my kids are here. Like that's another thing. Like I want to. I don't want to be more than a bridge. You know, like they're right on the other side of. I'm in the Bronx over here, but they're right on the other side. Literally, like 5-10 minutes. You know, just over that bridge, depending on traffic. So I'm good, and I don't need too much. Like, to me, as long as this comes back to being the mecca of entertainment, that's what I like. I like being around it. I like talking about it. I like having friends that are involved in it. That's my life. That's what I choose to do. I'm not a big, I say this too, money guy, obviously. But I don't need nothing. I'm not into that. If any money that you gave me, I would probably put it away and just give it away to the people that I love. You know what I'm saying? So they can get what they want to get. I don't need that much. You know what I'm saying?
That must be interesting for you. So you said hanging out with other comedians. Like I used to see Seinfeld and Chris Rock and all these guys hanging out with Colin Quinn and Wanda Sykes, and they all be at a table and they're bullshitting with each other. Those conversations you guys must have of being on the elite level of just being funny. Okay, and just being creative and throwing shit off each other must be freaking amazing. I always thought about that.
Yeah, but the secret there is not to think about it and just have normal conversations.
But you guys can't have a normal conversation. You guys are all freaking witty and off the tongue.
Yeah,
Like
but you'd
you
be
say
surprised,
shit.
man. A lot of these people, you talk to them, and the last thing you're trying to do is be funny. Like, hey, what happened when like your kid got locked up? So what happened with your kid? And now, in the middle of talking about this serious thing, then something funny will come up that nobody else would say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you'll both
But
laugh.
comedians, do they actually say shit like that though, or do they hold it in?
Cool.
Do they just come out with that material? Like they just thought of something. You just said about the guy in the crash or whatever, but you just came up with something funny.
Yeah, I mean, it
Do you
depends.
tell him that, or you don't? Do you hold back?
Depends. Sometimes if you're you can't help it. You can't help it. You're good because you're.
But that's what I'm saying. It must be awesome being in that conversation and listening here. Everybody throws shit off each other.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's and when you talk to people that they don't think funny, or they funny is their last resort. See, one thing you got to realize is for comedians, funny is always the first resort. We'll worry about everything else later. So you drop a bomb that's funny in the middle of a conversation that you didn't realize you hurt somebody's feelings, or you shouldn't have said that in front of somebody else. At some point in comedy, you stop doing that. You stop trying to be the funniest. Now I listen more. I don't mind laying in the cut. And then when somebody, because I like that type of humor too, where just a wise ass. Like everybody's talking and then somebody says something and they.
Well, you always were a wise ass, though. You know what I mean? You always had that. We're from Astoria. We got that. We got that cutting edge.
I was always fascinated by that. I always gravitated towards who the funny person was, and I would study them, and I would. I learned about timing at a young age, I just loved funny. I loved being somebody around witty. So I always cling to that person.
That's a good word, witty. I love being around witty people because they keep you sharp. They keep you on your toes, you know? And I like being, I know a few comedians too, and especially Scotty. Scotty's a freaking hilarious. And just being around him just ups our game, in my game of just talking. You know what I mean? We're always thinking something funny, throwing it back and, and just laughing. That's what everything's about. It's laughing.
I love getting into
really screwed up world. We need more laughter.
Like, you get into a conversation with one of your friends or your wife, your girl, and that laughter that you can't stop laughing. You just keep looking at each other and you're just dying laughing, going back and forth. Those are moments that I cherish, to me, but it's everybody's different. Like whatever, some people, they get off on, they don't laugh that much, but they get off on, winning in a business aspect of it, to each his own. The worst thing in the world is to hang out in a room full of comedians. I'd rather just be around, give me a couple comics, but let everybody else be normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because then it just becomes really douchey anyway, because then you see like, oh, they're all miserable fucks too.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody.
It's pretty dark to be a comedian a lot of times. Because what? You're like a vampire. You work the night scene.
People annoy me too. I don't like this modern day comedian who talks about how they got this problem and I can't score with chicks, or I got a psychological problem. Shut the fuck up, bro. Man up. Deal with it. Yeah. Let's go back. I want to since we're on part 2, and I'll probably have to wrap up soon because we're gonna go out of time. I just wanted to see. I had other stuff for you here. I think I pretty much got to everything, man. That's pretty good. I'm happy that I did that. That I took the time out and to write it down, because I think we did a lot of good work here, man. We got a lot of stuff out of the way, funny stuff, man, and really good stuff. And you're in a good spot over there. How old are your kids now?
One's 5, one's 1. So it's the whole beginning. Like I said, I love the dad role. I love the responsibility. I love coming home. I love going food shopping and bringing food. It sounds silly, but I love the role. Because I always lived life for me. I lived a great life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I traveled to a lot of different places. I've met a lot of great people, and it was all about me. And I was selfish. And now to the point where now I have a wife, I have kids, and they're more important to me. And everything comes out to them. So being Santa Claus every day is awesome.
And you got to be nice. You have to be extra nice right now because, you know, you're a lot older than your wife, and in a couple of years you're gonna need somebody to feed you.
I can change my diaper. Who knows? You know?
Your diaper. Stay working. Keep doing pull-ups. What?
So that helps. My wife's a nurse, so it helps a little bit too.
Oh, really? Yeah, my son's going to nursing school now.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah. He's in NYU nursing school. So yeah, I wasn't, you know, he never asked me about law enforcement, and I wasn't going to try to make him go in it, you know?
Yeah. It's not the same job. It's actually a really, really, you know, thankless job these days. It's really
But think
tough.
about this. All those kids that they're saying defund the police, at least in New York City anyway, and all these horrible things that are yelling at these cops in their faces when they were protesting. Now it's kind of died down a little bit. But all these horrible things that you're yelling at a college graduate, because most of these kids that are out there, they at least needed 2 years of college to get on the job. So you're not yelling at some knucklehead, stupid blue-collar person like when I got on the job that, you know, I had a college, high school diploma and maybe like, you know, 30 credits. You know what I'm saying? No, you're talking about most of these people get these criminal justice degrees, whereas about full as a freaking film school degree. What do you need a degree to do police work for? Do you need a degree to go stand somewhere and have somebody yell at you in your face and tell you you're a piece of shit? No. You don't need a degree for that, because that's what it turned out to be. Some of them are standing there with a 4-year degree saying, I have friends that are sitting at a fucking desk in a cubicle right now, and this person's telling me, I hope your wife and kids die.
Yeah. It's a screwed up world right now. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's.
I get upset thinking about how and where these kids today, what they're thinking. You know what I mean? And they got I call it liberal incubators. These colleges. They got the professors brainwashing them, and them coming home and then arguing with their parents. Okay, what they think is right, which is wrong. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of that going on.
It's crazy. And then think about it. Every 4 years, a new president, but we're getting more and more 4 years of the new college kids, and then our veterans and everyone's passing on. That, you know, they're passing, they're gone. Mm-hmm. So in the next few years, right, I think it's like 51%, I think, is like really into like socialism, and they really want this, right? But they don't understand the repercussions of this. We can't go that way.
Listen, my father was a socialist and a communist and an atheist and on the unemployment list for most of his adult life because all that stupid shit he did in college. But you know what? When the dust settles, you're going to get, what did we have? We had Reagan for 2 terms, then Bush. Because all that nonsense that was going on during Jimmy Carter and before him, that direction was in nowhere. It was going nowhere. Everybody realized it. And then you had 12 years of Republicans in office to straighten out the mess. And then we started going back there again. So we had to do it again. It happens, man. You know, these schools, they indoctrinate the kids. They have them for that short little period of time where they're filling them full of these ideologies, this crazy shit, this rhetoric. And at the same time, once they get out and they start paying some bills, and they all of a sudden they want to know where their tax dollars are going and why are we wasting so much on this program and this, that, and the other. Well, I'd rather hold on to some of my money. Maybe you start a business, you buy a house, you make an investment in your community. That's when all of a sudden you start becoming more conservative about your ideas. That's what's called life.
You're so on point. I can't even say anything, but absolutely. You're absolutely on point. You know, grow up. But actually, I got to say, I'm a late bloomer too. You know what I mean? I didn't really wake up until my late 30s. So I really said, all right, whoa, what the hell are you going to do with yourself? You know what I mean? I really had I went to the bottom to get myself back up, and I had to start thinking. I had to open up my brain, start freaking like looking around, thinking of politics, finances, who's around me, all this stuff. I had to reevaluate myself to come out with what I'm doing now. And it was a struggle. Okay. But after the struggle was over, okay, I actually now have a good grasp on what the hell's going on. And then I see these young kids and I'm going back at them saying, you know, they have no clue, but neither did I. So do they actually wake up, or are they going to stay in the dark? And is it going to be too late? That's another big thing.
You know what's going to happen? All these kids that argue with you, they got stuck in the house with them over COVID, and they were telling you how horrible Donald Trump is and how horrible Republicans are. Those same freaking kids, what do you want for Christmas this year? Well, you know, the iPhone 12 is coming out, and my phone, the battery doesn't work that good anymore, Daddy. And then they're going to take that fucking iPhone 12. You know what I'm saying? They're arguing like cats and dogs, but at the end of the day, either you're going to have to go out there and get a job and fend for yourself and all your beliefs, or you're going to have to, we got to make a family, and you got to shut up for a little while. We'll both shut up, you know, because that's what we're also going through, like this transition with learning what to do with ourselves and our phones and social media and communication. And, you know, did you watch that show, Social Dilemma? It's interesting, you know, just to see how we're all being programmed, and, you know, we're vulnerable against this attack of social media and all this stuff and what it's doing to us. We got to kind of sort of figure out how we're going to navigate our personalities, being social with somebody who doesn't agree with us. That's all lost right now. That's all
lost. And you know what? They're going to lock it down more once they go to digital currency. They're going to know what you're spending it on, what time you're spending it. They're going to know everything about you. And then they do their own kind of data on you, and they come out with their own criteria. So they know what they're going to do even before you do it. So it's dangerous. We're just not headed towards a better time right now. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm a very positive guy, but I'm a realist. You know what I mean? And I just see it just not getting good for a little bit. And then it's going to have to be restructured. And then we're going to have to really, just think about it. Think about what's going on around. Now, you don't see all this craziness as it was a few months ago. People are starting to wake up and realize, maybe I shouldn't go buy that. You know, maybe I should hold on to my money a little bit. You know, people are starting to realize the value of their dollar now instead of just spending it. You know what I mean? And it's
$100 go too far.
Yeah. And then, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't go spend all these, Starbucks and spend $6 on a freaking coffee. You know, maybe I should bring a cup of coffee to work. Like all of a sudden, people are starting thinking a little bit differently. And if that's the good thing that comes out of it, that's one good thing. But, there's a lot of bad that's still there too. And I don't see it weighing out the right way yet.
I remember when we first got on the job, the economy wasn't that great. And you could go out to a bar or a club in the middle of the week, and they had cop night, fireman night, first responders night, you know.
So everybody got jammed up and they stopped doing it.
So what happened was the economy got better. Yeah. And they didn't need your money anymore. They wanted the people that, you know, were the Wall Street guys to come back. Yeah, come in here, spend some money. That's when bottle service came out and getting a table. Before that, they wanted you to come, cops get in free, drink. And then the economy started getting better, and all of a sudden, you know, they're shifting you over to the bar while everybody's sitting down and having a good time. And, they all got money, and you're like by the bar like an idiot. And like, you want to sit down? How much is it? Oh, well, you got to buy a bottle. Like, $200. I don't got, you got 3 cops there. And you start realizing they don't want us here no more. You know, and that's the way the economy kind of sort of goes and ebbs and flows. And when you've been around as long as us, you see it, like the love for police officers. How long did that last after 9/11? But before that, when I got on the job with Dinkins, they blow pot smoke right in your face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now we're back to that again. So it goes. It's constant ebbs and flows, and you just got to try to, I guess, navigate it and stay on top, and you know.
Yeah, I just got on when the riots were going on in Crown Heights. In 91, I think. The Crown, it was terrible up there. It was terrible, but there was so many nice people, right? That I would think, and I never realized that the Jews were on the side streets and the black people were living on the avenues. I thought, and they just lived so close to each other, on top of each other, but it took a kid to get hit by a car to cause this outrage. You know what I mean? And it was just all this craziness going on for a while. I just never knew that I just thought, like our neighborhoods. You had the Irish neighborhood, you had the Italians, right? You had a little mixture, right? But you didn't have like Jewish and black together. You know what I mean? And they're right. I'm surprised there was not more problems. with each other.
Well, that Hasidic community is very insulated, and right now you're not in New York, but I love what they're doing, man. The city padlocked this park where the kids play in that neighborhood, and come and they'll cut that lock every day. Then they tell them you can't go to school anymore. They fucking you see them coming in and out, no mask going in and out. They don't want the city's help. I think honestly, I wear my mask, okay, but I think it should be a community by community thing. It's not like they go everywhere. They're very, very insulated. And when you close B&H and the Diamond District, they're going to stay over there. There's nowhere else for them to work. They all work at B&H, the camera place, or they're in the Diamond District. That's it. So they're leave them alone.
Yeah.
Let them freaking go to Temple, man. Let them do whatever. Stop. It's too much. It's government overreach. Now we're all, because they always said, if you give them power, they're never going to give it back. And that's what you're going through right now. You see these Cuomo and de Blasio withdrawals giving us these fucking numbers. Nobody even still understands. I don't know what they're talking about, upticks. Yeah. The whole thing is fucking nonsense. It's just a way for me to keep coming on TV every day.
Yeah. Well, Dan Bongino, right? Good guy, right? And he was a cop, New York cop.
Who are you talking about?
Dan Bongino.
Oh, yeah.
He's a really good guy. And he said to one of the commentators, like, what would they do any differently? Okay. Defund the police, erase history, and make a list of all these things. He goes, what would you do that would actually be different of destroying this country? Okay. They're on the path. The Bozo and Como, they both have a plan. They're part of a bigger freaking thing. Why they're destroying the city? It is what it is. And, is there an answer for it? I have no clue, but they are destroying the city by purpose. Okay. No one just decides like that, right? To destroy a city.
Who knows? Maybe they want to turn the money around.
Like you were saying with the slash, there's a leg, there's another leg, there's an arm. You know what I mean? They're doing it.
There's a plan somewhere. I spend most of my day trying to figure it out. I still haven't nailed it. I have so many different possibilities or conspiracy theories, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
We're reaching our limit here as far as Zoom goes. But before we close out, is there anything that I skipped that you wanted to bring up? Or you want to mention the businesses over there?
Really. I just got my own private businesses. Right now I'm cutting back right now. I'm selling a bunch of the houses because I really do believe there's going to be a financial shitstorm coming. And no matter who wins after the new year comes, it's going to change and it's going to get a little tougher a bit.
What does the average house go for over there?
I'm sorry?
What does an average house go for over there? Like
different areas.
It's like house.
I'm sorry, what?
A one-family house. How much does that go for over there?
Family house, what, like a 3-2 in a decent neighborhood?
Yeah.
Anywhere from like 150 to like 500, 600,000.
That's not like bad in the bank. I'm on my way over. You do rentals?
I'm sorry?
You have any rentals?
Yeah, I got a few rentals.
How about basements? You got basements? I'm into basements. I can live wherever I want. I love to live in the basement.
There's no basement.
But I want to hit me first.
It's interesting, though, being a property investor, because when you're a landlord, you got to be an accountant, you got to be a psychiatrist, you got to be their daddy, you got to be so many different things. And that's also what's helped me with the job, doing the job. You wear all those hats at one given point or another, okay? And by actually being a landlord, right, you use them, all your verbal skills, how you talk to people and how to, de-escalate a problem. All these things come into play. And, the job, I can definitely say, hey, they trained us to be that way, right? So I'm utilizing those skills, in my own business. So, but it gets challenging because some people fool you. You got good tenants, you got bad tenants, you got really bad tenants. And you just got to know who you're dealing with, reward the ones that do the right thing, and make sure you get rid of the ones that don't do the right thing, make your life harder. You know what I mean? You got to make your life easier. And it gets challenging at times, Who
knows, man? I might hit you up. My mother's in Florida. Maybe I'll hit you up. I'll come down there and check it out. Maybe I'll move down there. But until then.
Well, you come down, bro. You know what? I say come down and just don't do anything besides just observe and enjoy. All right. And then you make your decisions. Don't force yourself to go down here and then all of a sudden it's not, you don't like it and you're stuck and you got to go back. You know what I mean? There's only I did that 3 times. You know, I left New York, came back, left New York, came back, and we call it it's learning experiences. But just have some kind of a plan and don't jump into anything. Just make your decisions a little bit better by like maybe renting a little bit, observing, see this is what you like. It's a different lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's a little bit laid back. You know, it's not that fast paced, and I like that. My whole life has been running. I had the heartbeat of this city. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, not having that, I had to take a step back. And I love what I see and what I'm experiencing. And I'm walking now. You see more. When you're running, everything's a blur. When you're walking, you see more detail. And I love Florida. I love my environment. You know, I love seeing green everywhere and flowers and you know, manicured lawns and stuff. Where in New York, you see gray. You see, you know, people wearing dark colors. Well, I understand that tactically why they wear dark colors. Nobody wants to stand out and be a target. You know what I mean? That's understandable being in the cities. It's true. You know what I mean? You wear dull colors, you blend in, you're fine. But if you wear like a Hawaiian shirt, you know you're a tourist, and they're gonna steal your camera and your wallet. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different world. You know, but down here everyone wears bright colors. You can get away with it. You know? So I like the transformation.
It's easy now when the weather's nice here in New York. Moving doesn't seem, but then comes the cold weather, and I have arthritis like a 90-year-old, and then I start suffering, and my knees swell up, and I'm in pain for most of the winter, and then that's when I'm like, I got to get out of here. And before you know it, the things turn around, but who knows, man? I don't know what's in store for me. Maybe I'll with my comedy, I'll take it to Florida. I'll do nursing homes. You know, I'm almost at that age right now where I can do that.
There's a lot.
So I'm not even kidding, man. You could make I know somebody who actually did that. They were a comedian here in New York, and they weren't that much older than me. They just moved to Florida, and they tour nursing homes, and they make a living doing that. Yeah. Old people.
A lot of them, though.
Well, not just nursing homes too, because then you have retirement communities where the people are like, you just got to be 55 to get in there. Yeah. You could make a living doing that in Florida, just performing like that. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But in the meantime, man, what a great reunion between us.
Yeah, it's been awesome, bro.
Fun, man. This was fun. When you come back to New York, I hope that you look me up, and I owe you a beer, and so maybe some dinner. And,
I don't even know when I'm coming back to New York. I'll tell you the truth, with everything going on.
No, I'm just saying when you do.
A beer and a drink.
How far is Vero Beach from Fort Lauderdale?
About an hour and 45.
Oh, that's not bad. When I go see my mom, I'll come down and see you. I'll stop by.
Well, let me know beforehand. We'll set something up.
Yeah. Let me know, man. Like if you got a nice basement apartment somewhere, I can crash out.
No basements in Florida, man. No basement.
I'm kidding. Living in the basement. All right, my friend. Thank you for your time. God bless you and the family. Tell your wife I appreciate her her lending you to me for a little while.
Very good.
Now get out there and make $1 million today, you.
Peace, brother. Pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right.